So please welcome Karin from Wageningen University.
Well, thank you for being here and listening to the talk. So I'm Karin Molenveld. I work at Wageningen Food and Biobased Research, and we are part of the Wageningen community. Now, Wageningen is quite a known organization, but maybe more for agriculture. But of course, now with the bioeconomy, agriculture and the products are getting more intertwined. Our mission is to explore the potential of nature to improve the quality of life, and I think we need it in the future even more than we need now. Wageningen is actually not only a university, but also a research facility. So in this way, we connect fundamental research with applied research, so even up to pilot facilities to produce all kind of stuff, not only food, but also bio-waste products. And in this way, we want to really make a change in the bioeconomy. We are not a big organization, not a big university, but in total, we are over 6,000 staff. Within the Wageningen community, I work at Wageningen Food and Biobased Research. So a lot of colleagues work in the food domain, and then, of course, we enter from packaging to chemicals and biomaterials. Also, again, focused to keeping everyone safe and healthy, and also adhering to the sustainability goals. We do this in society-oriented research programs. So I'm program manager of Renewable Plastics, so all the way from biomass to plastic products and end of life and biodegradation. But other colleagues work at nature-based materials. It can be building materials, textiles, safe and circular bio-based products. My colleague Jaco van Haveren, more in detergents, in surfactants, coatings, inks, composites, and of course also water, because in all these processes we use a lot of water, and that's also a big challenge in the future. And then, of course, the food-oriented programs. What I said, we adhere to all these global challenges we have. And specifically around chemicals and plastics, these are increasing. And where we say, well, we are changing and we are getting more sustainable, my topic today is, are we really changing? And are we really getting where we are? Because from my perspective, the plastic problem, if we look at it, we have climate change due to the use of fossil feedstock. So we know that we have to stop using this fossil feedstock. But we also know that it's only increasing, probably until 2038, using more fossil feedstock, or even 10 years later. So how are we getting climate neutral? Because if we keep using this, eventually it leads to CO2 emissions. Then, of course, every month, or maybe even more, articles are getting out on pollution, and even also how it affects us. So how do this microplastic end up in our bodies, and we don't even know what it does. But concerns are increasing. So we use a lot of persistent molecules that we make ourselves, and that we lose somewhere. And also, maybe not intentionally, but they get into places where we don't want them. And in the end, it's affecting biodiversity and food security, because, well, climate change will also affect where things grow. So in the Netherlands nowadays, we have a problem with potatoes because it was too wet. Well, then you can't harvest, you can't do anything. Well, and there's not so many regions in the world where you effectively have the clay ground for the potatoes. So you think, oh, what's the problem? Yeah, well, but all these small problems add up. Well, at the moment, what we see, plastic industry says, oh, we'll fix it at the end, recycling as a main solution. But is it? And then all the regulations also go towards recycling. But this is really going to fix our problem. Because the regulations towards bio-based content or renewable content are limited. And also, does recycling really make sure that the plastics don't end up in our environment? Well, that's very questionable if it solves our problems. And in the other part, we see that plastics will remain to play a crucial role. So we will need them to preserve our food, to make all kind of products. But of course now we critically need to evaluate how we use it and how are we going to reduce and how are we going to change, and not fool ourselves with all kind of idealistic things and talking about climate neutral or talking about circularity. Well, really, we have to face the problems that we have. It's the use of fossil feedstock and it's the pollution we have. So actually, in the end, we say, well, plastic should be bio-based or, well, renewable, recyclable. So we have to improve recyclability of our plastics because, well, we still have challenges there. And also we have to make sure that if we use plastics, that if they end up in nature, that they don't accumulate. So that they will, well, it's not biodegradation at all, but we don't want them to really be persistent and not to last over hundreds of decades. Well, the problem is that plastics are very good. So we're really happy with the plastics because, they are very cheap. They can help with energy savings, insulation products, whatever, low weight for transport, food loss reduction. So we're very much addicted. New products, applications, and they really help us in our journey towards convenience, because really that's what people are into convenience, and plastics help. So if you look at the middle part, the molecules, making the plastics, the products, they're very good. So I put them in green here. But, well, in the beginning, the crude oil, yeah, we want to get rid of that. And then the end of life, that's where the issues is. So I think it's very important to see that there's both issues at the feedstock side and at end of life. And connecting those are not so easy as we think. We're talking about plastic and transitions, but we're not even discussing what type of plastics we use and whether of these specific plastics we use, if they're recyclable, yes or no, or how well, or that maybe one plastic should be preferred over the other because its recyclability is better. We don't even discuss it, so how do we talk about transition? Then where we work at, yeah, we have a pilot facility where we work at plastics and also try to get a critical answer to all these questions. So we make new polymers, we process them, we make products, we develop stuff, we do biodegradation testing, recycling testing, and a lot of analysis. And we've been doing that for quite a while. So we have over 30 years experience in bio-based plastics, making those, but also biodegradation research, developing new models. So we hope to have a paper out soon on that, to talk about accumulation and biodegradation, and also on plastic recycling. And actually what we propose is to really develop new plastics that do not use fossil feedstock and also show better recyclability and do not accumulate when they end up in life. And we really want to discuss that with you. What options do you see? Because it's really nice to think, well, just fixing something at the front or at the end, I'm safe and I don't have to change my products. But I think that's really questionable if that will reach where we are. And if we draw graphs about, well, how far can we get with recyclability, we don't think that 50% is achievable. Maybe in our dreams it is, but realistically, and then we have a challenge of 50% feedstock. And so we have to improve recyclability, we have to improve on the feedstock we use, and like to discuss that with you. Contributing to a fossil-free society. And that's what we want to do. And if please meet us at our booth and to discuss with this, and also on our views about plastics. Thank you for your attention.